This is the Mississippi River, one of the world's major river systems in size, also one of the world's most important commercial waterways. The river alone powers a significant segment of the economy in the upper Midwest, but now it's in a state of crisis, which could force nearly 1 million people to find alternative drinking water for weeks or even months. Known as a saltwater intrusion, this type of event occurs naturally whenever river flows drop below a certain threshold, and has long been a problem for communities near the Gulf that get their water from the lower Mississippi River. But the region now faces its worst saltwater intrusion in decades, in large part due to record heat and drought, rising sea levels, and weaknesses along the riverbanks. One other contributing factor is entirely human-made. For nearly a century, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has been dredging the Mississippi River ship channel to expand shipping along the key trade route. This route handles 450 million tons of bulk export and 18% of U.S. waterborne commerce every year. In 2022, the Corps deepened sections of the channel from 45 to 50 feet, allowing bigger ships to carry more cargo to Louisiana's ports. What's more surprising is that Army Corps' own document says all that dredging, though, makes the river more susceptible to saltwater intrusion. It also noted that enlarging the ship channel causes an increase in the duration and extent of the saltwater intrusion that occurs during these low water events. The Mississippi River bed sits below sea level, so anytime its flows drop below a certain volume, saltwater enters from the mouth of the river and travels upstream beneath the less dense freshwater. Removing sediment from the bottom of the river through dredging magnifies this issue. The 2018 report lays out the Corps' go-to mitigation strategy, crafting a temporary barrier about 40 river miles south of New Orleans. This barrier, known as a sill, is built at the bottom of the river to block saltwater from progressing northwards towards more populous areas. The sills are designed to wash away naturally when the river's flow eventually increases. This summer marked the first time the Corps had to build a sill 2 years in a row. On September 20, the saltwater wedge overtopped the sill, also a first in Corps history. This scenario was seemingly not anticipated in the 2018 study. The Corps model predicted that a saltwater wedge would last longer in the enlarged channel, but that drinking supply intakes upstream of the sill would not be affected. At the behest of Congress, the Army Corps has been dredging the Mississippi River to improve ship navigation since the 19th century. The earliest documented saltwater wedge affecting public water supplies occurred in 1936. When New Orleans' drinking water reached salt levels of 388 parts per million, 55% higher than the current federal standard. The ship channel was enlarged several times in the decades that followed. In 1987, the Corps enlarged sections of the river between the Gulf of Mexico and Donaldsonville to a depth of 45 feet. To slow the saltwater's progress, the Corps is now working to increase the height of the sill it built in July from 35 feet to 60 feet, though officials have said it is likely to be overtopped as well, assuming drought conditions continue. For communities downstream of the sill, the Corps has begun to deliver hundreds of thousands of gallons of fresh water by ship to help water treatment plants dilute salinity, and plans to install reverse osmosis units to filter out salt. The agency is also arranging to barge in millions of gallons of water per day to the New Orleans area. But local officials say those solutions won't be enough to avert disaster in New Orleans. Now the city is planning for the rapid construction of a pipe to pull in fresh water from upriver, at an estimated cost of $100 million to $250 million, paid for mostly with federal emergency funds. Despite the negative impacts, some observers believe the benefits of a deeper Mississippi are worthwhile, both economically and environmentally. Other researchers who work closely with the Army Corps said the agency is looking to reevaluate its work on the lower Mississippi River.